Hello class, today I want to show you a fact. Here it is. This is a fact. Mrs. Yankee won't fist bump Mr. Sprunger. Every time he puts his fist out for me to bump it, I look around like I don't really know what's going on and walk away. I always tell other kids if he tries to fist bump or like elbow bump him, walk away, walk away, walk away, don't make contact. 6 feet. Just because I think it's really funny when people snub Mr. Sprunger. But I wanted you to look at this sentence. I've got some really good writing in my sentence. I used my best handwriting. I've got really nice spaces. I started with a capital, ended with a period, and what's that thing? Why is that there? Is that a mistake? Is that like a mark on my board? Should erase it? Clean it? Oh, that's supposed to be there. This is one of the focuses of today's lesson. What is that thing and why did I put it in that word? So let's figure it out. It's called an apostrophe. Look at the way it's spelled. A, post, row, and then PH sounds like an F, so it'd be fee, apostrophe, apostrophe. So this is an apostrophe. When you do it on the computer, it almost has like a circle kind of at the top and then a little tail. When you write it yourself, though, as you can see on mine, you just do it like a little line. It kind of has like a little curve to it a little bit. But an apostrophe looks like a flying comma. It says think of them as commas that can hang in the air. So commas that go down at the bottom of a sentence. And we actually haven't really done commas yet, but you've probably heard of them. We'll do those in February. But they go up in the air in the word, and their use is not limited to just contractions. And contractions is what we're going to learn about today. And if I move my picture, it says apostrophes are important to make any contraction. Like I said, contractions are the focus of today's lesson. So what are contractions? The definition is a contraction is a word made by combining 2 words and leaving out 1 or more letters. An apostrophe shows where the letters have been left out. So if we look back at my example of Mrs. Yankee won't fist bump Mr. Sprunger, the sentence just makes me happy because I'm evil. So won't is 2 words put together with some letters taken out. Mrs. Yankee will not fist bump Mr. Sprunger. So if I change it to say will not, because those are the words that won't replaced, will not. So what I do when I make it a contraction, and this was kind of a bad example because this one is actually spelled a little different, is that you take out a letter, so I'm getting rid of the O, and you put the apostrophe in there. But we don't say willn't. Mrs. Yankee willn't fist bump Mr. Sprunger. For some reason, this particular example has another change in it where they get rid of those letters and replace it with an O. But usually, it's not like that. Let's pretend like, let's change my sentence to Mrs. Yankee cannot fist bump Mr. Sprunger. I cannot. It's not physically possible. I just cannot do it. So if I want to change this to a contraction, I would say, what does anybody know what the contraction would be? Can't. Mrs. Yankee can't fist bump Mr. Sprunger. So to do can't, I would get rid of the O, and you don't need the 2 ends, just the 1. And I would replace those with that apostrophe, that flying comma. And obviously I'd write them closer together, but that's what the apostrophe is going to represent when we are doing contractions. You put it up at the top and then you replace some of the letters with it. So leave some of those letters out. All right, so commas. There are a lot of different contractions, but some are more common than others. So let's look at how contractions use apostrophes to combine 2 words. So here are some, I'm gonna have to keep moving my picture all over the screen so we can see the words. We're gonna combine some words. If we have are and not, it would make the word aren't. So what letter did we get rid of? What letters did we get rid of? Is there one, more than one? Check it out. So we have A, R, R, E, N, N, apostrophe, and then the T. So they replaced the O with an apostrophe. We are not going outside right now. We aren't going outside right now. Next one. Can and not. That's the one I just showed you on my board. You have the C, the A, the N. We got rid of the extra N and the O, replaced that with an apostrophe, and then left the T. That is a weird looking T. Needs another side, like another line on the other side. So cannot becomes can't. I should start putting my picture over that. You already saw it. So did and not. What happens when we put those together? I did not hear you. You would say I didn't hear you. So you keep the D-I-D-N, get rid of the O, put an apostrophe there instead, and then leave the T. So didn't. All right, let's do another one. Could and not. I could not hear you. I couldn't hear you. So we keep all of the letters of could, but with the not, we get rid of the O and put the apostrophe. Let's see. All right, so let's see if we answer this question. What two words make up these contractions? So if we had hadn't, what two words would that be? Had and not. Had not, hadn't. Next one. Doesn't. She doesn't do her work. What two words? Does and not. She does not do her work. She doesn't do her work. Isn't. What two words? If you said is and not, you are right. This is not my birthday. So the contractions that include the word not are the most common. Those are the ones we just did. Isn't, aren't, don't, couldn't, won't, haven't. So mustn't, must not, shouldn't, should not, weren't, were not. Those are very common. But won't is that funny one that we just did that I started with on my board. Will and not, just kind of a weird one. It turns into won't. So here's some more examples. Now this one is not with, these aren't with not. So he and will becomes he'll. Make sure you have that comma there, or comma, apostrophe there, or else it looks like a bad word. He'll. Let's do another one. What would she will be put together? She will give me a piece of candy. It would be she'll give me a piece of candy. Next one. We will be really good. What would the contraction be for that? Wheel, not like a wheel on your car. That's spelled differently. Pronounced the same though. We apostrophe ol. So we got rid of, let's see, the W and the E are there. For will, we seem to be getting rid of the W and the I and replacing it with a comma. Let's see if that was true for the other one we just did. She is still there. We got rid of the W and the I. He is still there. We got rid of the W and the I. So that seems to be the pattern here. For I will, same thing. And that looks crazy because it looks like line. That's I apostrophe LL. Looks weird. I will, I'll. Oops. Okay, so what two words make up these contractions? If it says you'll is what two words? You and will. You will. Next one. It'll. It and will is it'll. That sounds weird saying it'll. It'll be okay. What'll. That sounds so weird when you say it by itself. What two words? What and will. What will be your choice? What'll be your choice? And all right, so there's a few that have and hasn't. It has. They and have would be they've. So we kept they. We got rid of the H and the A, kept the VE. Let's see a couple examples of that. We have money. We've got money. We have a good time. We've a good time. That's a hard one. Could have. Could have. I could have brought you guys candy. I could have brought you candy, but I didn't. Ha ha. Okay, so here's a tricky part about contractions. When it's an apostrophe S, it could be has or is. So let's look at an example of that. She's could be she has or she is. It's like she is my best friend. She's my best friend. She has a dog. She's a dog. Now, usually they don't say that because that sounds like she is a dog instead of she has a dog. So I think is more common. He's could be he has or he is. That's could be that has or that is. Who's who has who is. What's what has what is. Where's where has where have would make more sense, and where is. Before I have you start your assignment, I want to show you something real quick. that you can't do with contractions. Don't think you can just smash any two words together and make a contraction, because they have to make sense. So an example of that is if I just think of two random words in a sentence and put them together, it doesn't always make a contraction. So if I want to say like, do you have candy? Apparently I'm obsessed with candy today. I can't just say I'm going to throw do and you together and I'll just take off, let's see, I'll take off the you at the end. Do you have candy? What? That doesn't really make sense. I can't do that. So you can't just take any two letters. What if I have you and have? You've, that sounds like it would make sense. I'll just take off the H and the A and put an apostrophe there. Do you've candy? Does that sound right? Do you've candy? No. So you can't just squish any two words together. It has to make sense. It has to be like a known, true, real contraction that people are familiar with. So here's what we're going to do for our assignment today on Seesaw. So you're going to go into Seesaw and you're going to choose contraction. It looks like all these little construction hats. The first one is done for you. So you're going to look what two words are on that hat, type the contraction. So did not becomes didn't. I did not hear you. I didn't hear you. So do that for could not, I have, she is, all of those. There's a note at the bottom. Type the contraction for each set of words. To make an apostrophe, press the key shown in the picture. So right here, it's right beside your enter key. You'll just press that one time, and that's how you make an apostrophe, okay? On the line here, it says it's out of 9 points. So whatever number I write in there is how many you got right. So if I write you got 9 out of 9, you got them all right, that would be an A+. So go ahead and get on Seesaw. Do this assignment, take your time, make sure you do it right. I would rather you take longer to do it and do it right than to rush through it and me have to send it back to you with a grouchy face like this saying, slow down. All right. All right, go get your contractions done. See you later. Bye.